Hello everyone, my name is Christopher Liam Rose. I'm an author, mentor, life coach, motivational speaker, evangelist, musician, and activist. In this Spiritually Helping Other People podcast and audio, we're going to be sharing a message for spiritually helping other people. I've been sharing the Spiritually Helping Other People podcast to inspire humanity to learn about faith, spirituality, fate, and religion. I've been sharing the Spiritually Helping Other People podcast to inspire humanity to learn about Jesus Christ, Jehovah, and Buddha. I've been sharing the Spiritually Helping Other People podcast to inspire humanity to learn about helping other people, giving back and making a difference. And I've been sharing the Spiritually Helping Other People podcast to help humanity learn about spiritual change. Now, in this message, we're going to be sharing transcending knowledge, wisdom, time, and space. Now, this is a very important message for anyone that wants to go on the journey of spiritual enlightenment and spiritual awakening. So, transcending knowledge, wisdom, time, and space means we need to go through a spiritual change within the psyche and the psychological mind. So, how do you go through a spiritual change within the psyche and psychological mind? You do the six spiritual practices: prayer, meditation, mindfulness, walking, journaling. When we transcend knowledge, wisdom, time, and space, we actually discover the no self and selflessness, and know thyself, which is the most important thing in life. When you discover the no self, selflessness, and know thyself, you've transcended knowledge, wisdom, time, and space, because you're no longer a part of the self and you've transformed into the no self. Now, knowledge and wisdom is very important to have within life. If we don't have knowledge and wisdom within life, we can't be who we want to be or do the things that Jehovah, Jesus Christ, and Buddha has called us to do. So knowledge and wisdom becomes very, very important, and we must have knowledge and wisdom if we're going to live our spiritual life purpose, spiritual calling, and spiritual divine assignment. Now, transcending knowledge, wisdom, time, and space also means you need to do the five levels of helping other people. Level 1, volunteering, the good level in helping other people. Level 2, jobs, careers, employment, the great level in helping other people. Level 3, business entrepreneurship, the highest level in helping other people. Level 4, faith and spiritual, the spiritual levels in helping other people. And then level 5, spiritually helping other people, who helping other people, the teaching levels in helping other people. Now, it's so important within our lives that we do the 5 levels of helping other people and the 6 spiritual practices. These are the 2 things that can help us to transcend knowledge, wisdom, time, and space. Now, when you've gone through a spiritual change within the psyche and the psychological mind, you're changing who you are as a human being, your characteristics, your qualities, your skills, your abilities, your personality, your mentality, your behavior. Now, this becomes very, very important. Now, Jehovah, Jesus Christ, and Buddha wants us to go through a spiritual change within the psyche and the psychological mind. We shouldn't be living our lives selfishly. We should be living our lives selflessly, which is very important. So by discovering the no self, selflessness, and know thyself, you transcend knowledge, wisdom, time, and space. Once you've transcended knowledge, wisdom, time, and space, you end suffering, pain, and adversity, which is normally a process that we all have to go through. Now, in life, we're always going to go through suffering, pain, and adversity, which is why we need to spiritually change the psyche and the psychological mind. It doesn't mean we don't go through life experiences, it doesn't mean we don't go through challenges, it doesn't mean we don't go through disappointments and hardships, but when you spiritually change the psyche and the psychological mind, you spiritually are changing yourself. So you change from the self to the no self, which is spiritual awakening and the spiritual enlightenment. Now, spiritual enlightenment is when you know yourself as a human being. You know your skills, your qualities, your abilities, your personality, your behavior, your characteristics, mentality. And that takes a spiritual change to learn that. So it's so important if we want to transcend knowledge, wisdom, time, and space. we have to go through a spiritual change within the psyche and psychological mind. And once we change the psyche and the psychological mind, we'll be going through a spiritual change within ourselves. And it's always the inner transformation and the inner revolution, not the outer revolution, the inner revolution. Because once we change internally or inwardly, our outward life changes, and outwardly we become a different person. So inwardly we need to change outwardly. So everything happens when we go through a spiritual change within the psyche and the psychological mind. So it's so important that we can transcend knowledge, wisdom, time, and space once we do the 5 levels of helping other people, and the 6 levels. I mean, and the 5 spiritual practices. So the 6 spiritual practices: prayer, meditation, mindfulness, walking, journaling, silence. The 5 levels of helping other people: volunteering, jobs, careers, employment, business, entrepreneurship, faith and spiritually helping other people, he helping other people. So by doing the 6 spiritual practices and the 5 levels of helping other people, we actually go on a journey where we discover the no self, selflessness, and know thyself, which is transcending knowledge, wisdom, time, and space. So all human beings must go through this change. It's the most important change in life. Without going through the change of the psyche and the psychological mind, you can't do the work of helping other people. And the 6 spiritual practices: prayer, meditation, mindfulness, walking, journaling, silence, will help you to get there. And by doing the 5 levels of helping other people, your life becomes a life of contributions and differences into others, which means there's no more selfishness, and you live selflessly, live in the no self, and know thyself. And when you know yourself as a human being, you know who you are as a human being, your skills, your abilities, your characteristics, your talents, your gifts, and what you need to do in life. So go on the journey of a spiritual enlightenment and spiritual awakening, and understand that transcending knowledge, wisdom, time, and space happens when we go through a spiritual change within the psyche and the psychological mind. So thank you for listening. Just remember the 6 spiritual practices: prayer, meditation, mindfulness, walking, journaling, silence, and the 5 levels of helping other people: volunteering, jobs, careers, employment, business, entrepreneurship, faith and spiritually helping other people, you helping other people. And by going on this journey, you'll transcend knowledge, wisdom, time, and space, and be able to live your spiritual truth, spiritual eternity, and find spiritual nature and spiritual energy. So thank you for listening now. Have a good day. Bye bye. Thanks.